Yep, we can do that.
Um,
Mark was just in town at the farm, and we did some shit. We did lots of shit.
yeah, we're
No, we
probably, would you say we're probably close to like 7,000 CFMs pulling out of the building?
yeah. I mean, it's a
Oh, you know what? I'll actually put a picture in the mining setup so people can see the how big the fan was
we got some.
is. Well, I mean, we can talk a little bit about what we did and how productive we were when I was there just not that long ago.
Yep, yep, we can do that.
Um,
Mark was just in town at the farm, and we did some shit. We did lots of shit. No, we upgraded our ventilation system. So we're trying to always improve, right? We're always trying to make better on our farm and our hosting for our clients. But at the same time, at our current location, we don't want to go too far because we are looking for a larger permanent space with more power. We're limited on power right now, but we were able to get that large 40-inch fan set into the wall. It's only working at maybe half capacity right now, but still so much better than our previous ventilation setup that we had. Yeah. I mean, it's
yeah,
a
we're
total
probably.
of at 240 volts. I think consumes about 3 to 5 amps, which is something we're always calculating is how many amps we're pulling on our service on our panels. It would have pulled or would have pushed out around 11,000 CFMs. So the motor that we're running has a low phase setting, so it'll run off of 120. Pulls more amps on 120, but it was what we had available without me running, another 240 line onto the exhaust side of the farm. So, half the
Yeah,
power, half the CFMs roughly. So let's say 5,800 to 6 grand is probably right around the CFMs that we're pushing out, which is far better than what we were getting before. I mean, there's a vacuum when you try to open up the farm side of our area where it's split. It'll suck the door right through your hands trying to close it behind you. If you're not careful, it'll whack you. But definitely made a huge improvement, I think. We got some
is. Oh, you know what?
new what do you call it, setup reviews that we have to do as well over there. Um, People have been posting back and forth. I don't even know where I put it. There it is.
It's down there. A lot more chat than there is some of the shows. We got pictures, cats, video. Big fan that I got here at the house with some of my mining equipment. What else we made our first stab at creating an S10. Unfortunately, we didn't really do any photos or videos
It was
with
just a
it, but
trial run. Give us
yeah,
some credit. We took turns soldering the little connections on the single board, going back and forth.
yeah. So we made our first attempt at an S10. It seems it works, but it is not 100% yet. So as soon as we get, um, well, at this point, John, until I come back out again, can mess around with it a little bit more to get it 100%, and then see what do we need to do next to perfect the process.
I think what's really going to make the difference in putting that stupid machine together is not
He's
using
stupid.
not using a tiny little magnifying glass that it's, I don't know if it's heat warped or something, but
Yeah.
it sucks for us to see through, especially.
Both,
I
well,
mean, I'm already
both,
blind as
yeah.
it is.
Both of us were complaining about how we were going cross-eyed. So I mean, at one point, I'm sitting there looking, one eye down, trying to, does this work? I don't know. And then like I had to back away, and then look again with one eye, the other eye. Like it was.
Try not to drool as you're soldering.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
No, but I think we did all right. I'm gonna go back over those connections once I pick up a better magnifying glass, and I think that's really all it's gonna come down to. Um, for anybody who has looked into it or is interested in doing this, this is something that I hope to pick up as Coastal Crypto grows, because it seems to be a popular mod to do for a lot of these S9s to keep them on your shelf and keep them mining. You're basically taking one control board and 6 boards and cramming them together, so 2 S9s, and using the Hive firmware. There are other firmwares out there, but using the Hive firmware, okay, we're getting around 23 terahash, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, we're talking about soldering resistors. They're chip resistors that are maybe the quarter of a grain of rice. You know, they are tiny, tiny, tiny little pieces of resistors. So that was the hardest part, I think, of everything, was using our big, bulky, shaky fingers trying to, solder on these tiny little resistors with a magnifying glass that just sucked beyond all hell.
Yeah.
But
I think that was also maybe one of the downfalls. The resistors came at the very last moment that they possibly could come, and so we had everything else to put it all together, but those. And then once they did come, we made our attempt. I will say it was a lot of fun, very constructive. We need to do more once we've figured it out completely. I mean, we figured it out, but it's not 100% because trial and error.
Yeah. So let me slide over what Mark just posted. So this is in our Discord server. If you're not on Discord with us yet, always check out Discord. Lots of stuff happening. This is the big fan that we put in. It's like I said, 11,000 CFMs at 240 volts. And it's only temporarily mounted. We're not staying in our current location. It is out of power. We have utilized all of the power. It's not that it's out of power. We've just eaten up all of it, and we need more. We want more. We got to provide more. So we are looking at a number of different possible solutions, and hopefully we'll be moving into one of them very shortly.
Yeah, and we got quite a few lined up. So
yep.
Constantly working on getting another space lined up and ready to go. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what else because we've been working on this, so it's just a matter of time before we actually get one. We're good to go, signed, and we're in the building.
Yep. And it's not just making sure. Of course, we want to make sure that Coastal Crypto is successful and moving forward and able to grow, because we have huge plans past just resale and our own farm and hosting for you guys. We have other things that we want to implement and move forward with, but we need the space for it. So it's just finding the space that's going to allow us to, in turn, reciprocate that savings back to you guys, back to the customer, whether it be cheaper power, whether it be a larger space that we can set up some kind of other office space and do repairs, or there's lots of avenues that we would like to venture down. It's just we're limited on finding that right spot. We're waiting for that glass slipper, that Goldilocks type fit, if you will, and I think it's there. I think I got a couple more properties that I got to look at. We have a lot of what do they call them? Letter of intents that have been sent out, and it's just come down to final negotiation, really, trying to figure out which is going to be the best and time-wise, how we're going to move into it. It'll definitely be before the fall, I think, before the summer, before the summer's over.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be sooner than later, for sure.
Yes. Yep. We got space. We got one contract signed. We got space for them to come in, and then we're pretty much it until the new building, and we're ready to rock and roll. Once we get in there, we have floor plans already laid out. Doesn't matter what kind of building we're moving into. Farm-wise, we both of us have a game plan on how we're going to execute the layout and improve upon what we already have. And that's a huge, huge, huge thing that we've done. We've gone back and forth, Mark and I, and tried to figure out the best possible way of setting up a farm, no matter what area or what kind of building we're moving into, just so we're moving as much air as we can and keeping the equipment as cool as possible.
Yeah.
Because we all know these machines like to run hot, especially when we're overclocking these L3s to, 720, 800, and, combining S9s into S10s and everything else under the sun. I mean, I lost count of how many sheets of foam reflective board I've had to nail up and cut through just to make sure that we're utilizing and restricting the airflow and the space in the proper format to make things work.
It is. We would make some politicians that used to be in office very proud with the wall that you built.
Oh, thank you. Out of scrap materials, rocks, and bubblegum. Bubblegum and paper clips. We got to put that wall back, by the way, before we leave that building. It's gotta...
Yeah. Turn, shift, shape.
Close up, learn how to become masons, close up some cinder block walls, all sorts of stuff.
Yep.
Anything about the S9 you want to talk about? I know that we had limited experience trying to put it together, but the price on them have come down a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah. We recently just got Aaron a pretty good deal on some. But that's just one of those things, like when you're talking about small machines like the S9s, they don't make a lot, but also at the same time, you're mining Bitcoin. If you got cheap power, you could still be profitable. But I don't know, we don't make a lot of money off of those, so it's not something that we don't make anything off of those, honestly. So it's just one of those things. We're not advertising it. We are trying to figure out, what works with this S10, so we can make this custom mod available for those that are not very, or soldering and doing these type of modifications are a little bit more timid for others. And then see if, maybe we can make some type of profit for the company, doing that modification. But the S9s, honestly, they're good little lottery machines for the most part. The S9s that we got, recently, they're very, they're clean. They're just an S9. It's not much that we can really.
I think we got to put a little disclaimer in there for anybody that is new to mining, that is maybe stumbling upon this live stream or our channel or our site or whatever. S9s, L3s, A6s, X5s, they are old machines. They do not make them anymore. And anybody that's telling you that they have new ones available, it's a bullshit lie.
Yeah.
They don't exist. New ones, they stopped making new L3s, I believe, in 2017. There are no new machines for that generation of miner anymore. We have a great supplier, and they're willing to work with us, and we have some great refurbished equipment. But again, this is all used, refurbished stuff, guys. Don't believe new equipment when it says S9, new S9. No. There's no such thing. They're not out there, unless it was some abandoned shipping crate that somebody found on a port in, say, Miami or Norfolk, Virginia, wherever the nearest port is, and they sat in a crate for 6 years. They don't exist,
Yeah. And even at that point, they're not new then, because they sat in a crate for 6 years.
Rusting and corroding because it's all aluminum.
Yeah.
PCB boards expand and then soak up moisture. So we ran into, and I guess it's still a little bit of a sour spot for me. because I had to package and ship all the equipment. But we tried to do Amazon sellers. We have an Amazon seller account. We sold some L3s and we sold some S9s and some PSUs. And you got to be careful. Amazon is not crypto friendly yet.